Hi, Judy. How are you?
I'm doing great, Stormy. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. It's beautiful and sunny outside today. So when we get done, I'm going to go enjoy some sunshine.
Nice, nice. Well, we're going to be talking together. I think it's like one of my favorite subjects as well. Anytime we could talk about anything inspirational but life transforming, and for anyone listening to this recording right now, I want to share my personal story that I've had with you, and then I would love for listeners to hear a little feedback of who you are, because I just think everyone needs to know you. They need to hear what the gifts you have, but definitely what you could do to help people transform their lives in a short time, like you've done with me. So several months ago, I had contacted Stormy to help me through a very, very stuck situation that I was in. And you nailed it, Stormy, right to the core of what the possibility of the issue was. And I knew as soon as you said it, it I needed to work with you. And we did. I mean, you aggressively worked with me in a short time of what progress I was able to make. And it had to do at the core with self-esteem, self-respect. It tapped into some pretty underlying stuff, issues within me. And I think a lot of times we think we've done the work, we have already cleared certain issues in our life or what's blocked, only to find, holy cow, it's just gone deeper. And that's the thing that I have admired and appreciated so much working with you, is you go right into the core of this and how this relates to the values and the principles that I have with my company called Miracles of Health. Is we don't look to put a band-aid on something. We're looking for what are the core causes of different health conditions, what are the core issues. And until we get the issues out of our tissues, they repeat, but they get worse and they get worse. So before I worked with you, I was making progress in my life, but it was limited. After working with you, all doors just keep swinging open since then. So I mean, that's a little bit. If anyone wants to know personally why I'm so invested in, um, this relationship and continuing to grow this way, it has to do with your heart and your expertise on working with people, myself primarily. So, Stormy, what a little bit about your background and who you are.
So, a little bit about me. Kind of a multi hyphenated coach, a spiritual guidance counselor. You could classify me in a bunch of different areas. I have a laundry list of certificates, but the certificates really don't matter because anybody can get a certificate. Um, but it's embodying actually the material that we learn and understanding how it works and understanding not only our bodies but how our worldly environments affect everything we do and the trauma bonds that take place. And trauma bonds do what? They represent everything that we do, every decision we make, um, every direction we go. Anytime we get stuck in a goal setting process, or um, even in a the yo-yo. I like to call it the manifesting yo-yo, where people will manifest really big things and then all of a sudden they lose it all and then manifest really big things because they don't continue to do the work. So, like for example, what we did with you is we got really to the core issue of where the self-esteem issue was holding and went back and started working on that. and moving forward. And we continue to do the work each time we have a conversation, each time. It's not just a one or done thing. And this is what is so, there's such a huge misconception in the world that, well, I only have to do it once. If I do it once, I never have to do it again. Well, it's kind of like going on a diet, right? You can't go on a diet for 15 minutes and expect your health to be perfect. You have to continuously do the work. It has to become a part of your day to day life. Studying needs to become a part of your day to day life. Growing and enriching your mind and your thought process is a daily practice. It's not just I did it once, I went to a webinar, I read a book, and I'm done. It has to be continuously working. And we're in human bodies, and our human bodies have human natural reactions to our environments. And it's not always about us. Often it's about other people, but we perceive, we take in, we create, I like to call them onion layers. We create this onion layer around what how we feel, and we just keep building the layer, the layer, the layer. And some call it a paradigm, some call it a trauma bond. So there's many different ways to look at it. I even refer to it sometimes as shadow work. Do the shadow work. And doing that work is, you're ripping the band-aid, you're pulling all of these layers off so you can figure out, get to the root cause of why you're behaving the way you are, why you are saying you're going to do something and not follow through, why you're letting yourself down. That is one of the biggest things that I see, and we see it especially like around New Year's, where everybody does the whole New Year's resolution. And I'm going to get healthy, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to do all these things. The gyms are packed. It's the highest marketing in the world is around New Year's. You start seeing the vitamins and the supplements and everything is booms during that time of year because everyone's going to get healthy. But a week into it, they're done. They've fallen off of the reason why. Well, it really stems back to letting ourselves down. And where does that let ourselves down come from? It comes from a trauma bond and a paradigm that we believe we're not worthy of our own self-love. We're letting outside forces tell us whether or not we're happy or we're worthy of something.
This, I'm reminded of something I did several years ago, Stormy. I watched a lady on TV called Yolanda. She did yoga exercises every morning in Hawaii on the beach. And I loved watching that for a year. I watched this thinking it was called a wannabe, I want to do that kind of thing. And we can, and after a year of it, was I better in shape? Are you kidding me? No. Okay. Did I get any closer, to what I really wanted to do? No. Without the action, I could visualize things, but without making a plan and taking an action step, nothing changes. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I've learned one of the biggest fears people have isn't about living, isn't about dying. It is change. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that, when you said to me, you shared this with me several months ago, after we went through this process, then you said, now we're going to be repeating this. Okay. It doesn't, like you're saying, it doesn't stop there. Not everything came overnight, and not everything is going to be cured or healed overnight. It's a process. But if we're open more to making a plan, and I think most people fail, not because they're failures, they fail to make a plan. And that you showed me very clearly with some of the stuff we are doing. In this course you're talking about that you're teaching and you're launching, it which I would love to hear more about that myself and have you explain that more, because anything that will continue to expand a person to be free to be themselves, free to be who they really want to be, who they really are, and have that hope of sunshine coming in. You have such a gift to be able to help many people in that way.
So thank you for that, Judy. I appreciate that greatly. The program that I've put together, I've called it Illuminate. And the reason why I called it Illuminate is just that, illuminating your light within. And so we're going to go through, it's a 12-week course, and it has some one-on-one sessions. But some of the things that we will do is we're going to get back to connecting the mind, body, and soul, figuring out what our soul purpose is. I so often I get people that come to me and say, "Oh, I want to make $1 million." $1 million doesn't mean much if you don't know what you're going to do with the $1 million. And so we're going to dive really deep into identifying and finding out what your soul purpose is and the underlying issues that are keeping you from reaching that soul purpose now. Like, why haven't you reached the goals that you set? Why are you living a life that is unfulfilled? What is holding you back? So we're going to do some trauma bond clearing together. We're going to be removing the paradigms. We're going to be removing the onion layers. We're going to dig really deep and do the work. And then we're also going to be creating how to tap in to your own divine, unique gifts. We all have them. Every one of us have them, but we shush them. We shush them away. Specifically, our intuition, are also known as our sixth sense. We're going to learn, we're going to work together, and we're going to work through and how to tap into your divine power of just your intuition. When to follow your intuition. When is it your intuition, and when is it fear saying, "Oh no, I don't want to do something different." And then we're going to go through spiritual tools. There's synchronicities, right? People talk about angel numbers and crystals and oils and journaling and all of these things. They are beautiful, and they're beautiful tools. But it has more to do with how you use the tool than the tool itself. So many people have this thought process, "Oh, I'm just going to put a crystal in my hand and I'm just going to sit here and just meditate it away and all my problems are going to go away." Well, you've got to know how to use the tool. It's much more than just the crystal in your hand, and much more than just the meditation. In manifestation, which is a hot topic, it's a hot word, it's a hot buzzword that's been going around for the last couple of years. Manifestation, inside of manifestation, is action. So then we're going to go into how to move yourself into action and immerse yourself into your soul purpose, into your calling, and how to do it joyfully. Because without the joy, without doing something happily, you don't want to do it.
Well, Stormy, when I was meditating this morning, knowing we were going to be doing this recording of, what are some other insights that I gleaned from this experience with you? And I remember when you said to me, "I want you to write a letter of forgiveness for yourself, for yourself." And where we were going with that more and more gets closer into connecting with self-love and self-respect. And it was such a game changer, writing that letter of forgiveness. Talk about being released from myself, of my own inner bondage. Okay, maybe we're not in a actual physical prison as we know it, but internally, we can put ourselves in these prisons. And writing that forgiveness letter as part of this process was amazing. And I wanted to share with you, and now and anyone listening too, So I was out on a walk early this morning, and it was a pretty good brisk walk, and there's some hills up and down, and not a pain in my body. My hips didn't hurt, my knees didn't hurt, my feet didn't hurt, nothing at all. And some of the way the path is, sometimes my hips will get, sideways with how it is. And it felt so good. And this reminded me, Stormy, the depth and the level of healing and the work as a teacher, as a mentor that you do with people can literally save people from having hip replacements and knee replacements. Okay, now I'm not exaggerating. People get hip and knee replacements, thousands of them every day, all over the world, thousands. Okay, and hips are the seat of happiness. Our knees have to do with flexibility, being flexible in life. And I did not connect to the degree of the level of this work going just even that far. It affects our cells, our organs, our inner being, our outer being. And it's, this isn't something to take lightly. This is about circulation of energy, circulation of life force energy, circulation of the blood and our faculties, our brain, to be able to come sharper and clear. I just know how stuck I was. And anyone listening to this video, even if you feel partially stuck, oh my gosh, it is no way to live. You don't have to, but sometimes people don't know what are the options unless somebody who has come so far within your own life, and then the gift that you're sharing with so many others, that they can let this chain or this backpack or this cinder block go, that a lot of people don't even know they're carrying because they're so used to it.
Right. And it's not just that they're so used to it, they get comfortable
Mm,
being uncomfortable. So the body,
mm.
a body that is not at ease turns into disease. So, and that also goes with your mind. The more you think negative thoughts, the more you live a woe is me, doomsday type mentality, the more you're going to create it, the more you're going to create illness, the more you're going to create uncomfortability, disease in your body. Um, so many different things are connected, just even spiritually, that happen within your body. If you were to go look at, the body on a spiritual level and the different parts and the organs of the body and what it means. I'll just use the gallbladder for an example.
Mhm.
I remember many years ago I was having a gallbladder attack, and someone said to me, "What do you feel guilty about? What is it that you are holding this tremendous amount of guilt around?" And when I acknowledged that and I started to work through that and work through where that was coming from, I don't have gallbladder problems anymore. I mean, I took precautionary measures. I moved into action. I did things. I did homeopathic natural ways of healing my gallbladder. But I also dealt with the emotional disease that I was creating inside of my
I
body.
love that. Oh my gosh, I love that so much, because that's, that's the part that you have such experience with, and helping people to change those paradigms, become more conscious of how we can make these changes within us, and then it shows up outside of us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you the power of thought, the power of thought. I love to hear you talk about this.
The power of thought is in everything we do. But you can think all of the positive thoughts in the world, right? I mean, one of my favorites is gratitude. I love to get up before my feet even hit the floor and I'm already saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because and it's turned into kind of a game in my head to see how fastly I can think the word thank you. Because what happens is I start to trip it starts to trip in my mind and it makes me laugh. And what happens? Laughter changes vibration. So, and I love affirmations and true getting deep into your affirmations and stepping into your true power or your soul contract of who you are and who you need to be and show up and how you need to show up in the world. When you start stepping into that and start affirming while doing the work, you are going to see the change. So, for example, I am a very joyful, powerful, courageous leader. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. But when the world hands me stuff that just doesn't feel good, I have to figure out where that's come from. How did I source that? How did I bring that? Where in my path, where in my journey was I not able to step into who I was supposed to be? Because by my thoughts create my outside reality, right? Mm-hmm. And our outside reality will continue. We talked about repeating when we repeat the healing process, but our outside reality will continue to happen over and over and over and over again until we've learned the lesson to do something differently. So, what were our thoughts during the time that it happened before? How did we behave? How did we respond? What did we do that we shouldn't have done? Or what did we do that we should have done? Every decision that we make is the right decision for that very moment in time, for whatever lesson we're put on here to fulfill or to learn. But the lesson will keep repeating itself. So our thoughts are so powerful. If we're thinking doomsday thoughts, everything is negative, everything is bad, everything's going to be negative, everything's going to be bad. I had a girlfriend say to me one day, she said, Stormy, sit down in the middle of your floor. And she's a friend and a mentor, and we work really well together. And she says, I want you to sit down on your floor. I want you to look around everything around you. And I want you to feel gratitude for everything that you see right around you. We so often forget even the simple things like toilet paper, running water, the air we breathe, that we woke up this morning, that our children are here. We forget the simple gratitudes. Instead, we get stuck in the physical. I don't have this. I don't have that. I want this. And I see it even more so as the world has become with social media, this influencer phase. Everybody wants to be the influencer. Everybody wants to fly on the private jet. Everybody wants to have this. Everybody wants to have that, which those things are beautiful and they're great. But just because you don't have that doesn't mean that you are any less than that person. You are just as powerful. You have just as strong as a purpose. Let go of the thing, and guess what? The thing will suddenly appear.
I really am glad you're bringing this up, because slow suicide is when we compare ourselves to somebody else. Okay. We have not tapped into our own authentic identity. Mm-hmm. And when we recognize this, because part of lack of self-esteem and self-image and all of that is thinking we're lesser than anybody else. And in the realm of true spirituality, energy, everything is equal. No one's above anyone. No one's below anyone. Where we are we're really equal here. And in this process that you're talking about too, it's coming out of victimhood. Okay, we're not a victim to circumstances anymore. We're not a victim to or being someone else's doormat. For me, it was about really stepping into more and more of my calling, soul calling of what I really want to soar with here in this lifetime, not because I have to work, not this, you know, what I used to call mission has transformed into just a calling. Um, and so I really am glad you're sharing this, because it reminds me too of years ago, an Apache medicine man. He shared this with me over and over and over again, for me to see how valuable each and every one of us is. He said, we'd sit at the beach and he'd say, if one grain of sand would say, you don't need me anymore, and it'd go away. And then the next one would do the same thing. It'll go away. You don't need me. I'm so tiny. I'm insignificant. And it'd go away. And then before you knew it, no beach. Okay. The ocean waters would not be contained. They would be flooding in. And that would impress me over and over. Even the teeny little bit of, blade of grass, is so unique. There isn't even one blade of grass that's the same. And that's what I love, the work that it's, I don't even know, maybe it's a different word than work, that you're doing with people, and what you've done with me. Just it's like a butterfly coming out of the cocoon. And maybe we have a lot of butterflies within us, to emerge out of a cocoon. But you have such a gift how to help facilitate that in another human being.
Thank you, Judy. I appreciate that greatly. Um, Something you touched on about the sand, and the interesting piece about that is, so if we look at our life from the time that we're born, and every event that has happened in our life, every single event has some form, some type of meaning, and has created a programming on our response, our behaviors, our actions, our thoughts. And when I talk about trauma bond clearing, I've shared with you, I'll share with some of the viewers that are watching. I was in 28 foster homes before I was adopted. I was sex trafficked. I had a very failed marriage. The list of things are there. Those things were very traumatic experiences, and it's not that I'm okay with it that they happened, but because they happened, I am able to be where I am today, and I'm able to help the people that I can today. But I had to acknowledge that, and I had to understand that, and I had to give that love. So you talk about the piece of sand. And as I healed, I basically was putting back the piece of sand. I was putting back my piece of me, of who I was, of why I didn't feel loved, why I didn't feel worthy, why I didn't feel like I was enough, why I was hiding away. And as I started to heal those, that's when I started to step out more and share my story more, because I truly believe it doesn't matter where we come from. We are all worthy of achieving great success. And success looks so different to all of us. And absolute happiness and abundance and love in our life. And we are on a rat race. We're on this hamster wheel, and we just go and we just go and we just go and we just go. And we never slow down. because we're after the next best shiny thing.
That is so true. It a term is faster the physical, slower the spirit speaks to us. And that, and that means to receive this information, to feel the intuitiveness coming in, which you help teach people to be more open to receiving that. But the idea of slowing it down internally, slowing it down within our mind, we can manifest actually and accomplish even more with less effort.
Yes.
So this is a whole new mindset. I know you teach in your course. It's like so many, layers of this too. And it's, what you're talking about because you've gone through the transformations. And like you said, we peel the onion away as long as we have this physical body. Okay. Accepting the fact that evolution within our gifts and our own self, the whole thing, it just doesn't end. I don't even want it to end. I want to be even better tomorrow than how I am today within myself. And the difference, I could say, like years ago, I used to smile on the outside, but I was dying on the inside. Okay. Today, the smile on my heart is the same as the smile on my face. And that takes being willing, I don't know another word, but to do the work. Okay. Yeah. It takes effort to do the undoing for the, creating the new.
Absolutely. It does take work.
And it's worth it. We're worth it.
And it's worth every ounce of it. Every piece of it is worth it.
What are some of a few cases in particular you could say, people you've worked with that were pretty significant results?
Um, I've worked with kind of a broad spectrum. One was looking to have more fulfilling relationships, and more uh, intimacy with her partner. And this wasn't just intimacy in the physical sense, intimacy in the I see you, you see me, and learning how to not only adapt to each other, but have the conversations that we're missing. So I've had some amazing success there. I work with a lot of businesses and a lot of business entrepreneurs that are looking to create more success within their business and grow their business. And I've had clients that have tenfold, hundredfold their business in very short periods of time because they were able to clear their individual stuff and acquire or go in with an opening and knowing this is what I want to do and why I want to do it. And it just lit their fire as we unfolded those things, lit the fire that it opened up for complete transformation of what they were doing and how they were doing things. Mm. I've worked with couples. Gosh, I've worked with a variety of different people that have had an immense results.
Like, do you see people that all of a sudden they change careers? Okay. Or they all of a sudden they're going to move, or they're like, oh my, this isn't who I really want to be and what I really want to do. But to see that zest of life come back. Wow.
Yes. I've had people, I've worked with clients who have, we work through what do they love to do? What are their hobbies? What are their, we go through all of those kinds of things. And I've seen some that have taken those and turned those into full-time, lifetime, joyful purposes. And now they're spending their life creating what they love and making it a good income to do it.
That's beautiful. How do people best get in touch with you? What's some
The
contact information.
the best way is usually email, or they can book an appointment on my calendar. My email is stormy@influencingdestiny.com. Or you can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook and on Instagram and TikTok under Influencing Destiny.
So if they want to book a time with you so they could get more information, can you explain what do you mean by that?
So I offer a free 20-minute visionary call to go through and see if how we can mesh together, how we can work together, and how I can best serve you. And if my program or one of the programs that I have will work for you and for what your goals are. And if they don't, I'll refer you to someone who does.
That is awesome. And you work with people all over the country, even out of the country. There's
I do.
no limit.
I have clients around the world, as well as working with other coaches and mentors and healers around the world.
That's beautiful. What if you were to leave a message of just inspiration to somebody who's they're on the fence, they know they're really blocked and stuck right now, full of fear.
So, fear is something that we create.
Mm-hmm.
We are afraid of the unknown. But truly everything that we want in life is outside of that fear. I mean, and it sounds like a cliche statement, but it really truly is. We get comfortable being uncomfortable. And the longer we allow ourselves to stay in that fear comfortable space, that blocked space, we're going to create more illness and sickness in our body. And to be able to have and step through that fear, because really, what are you afraid of? Most people are afraid of someone else's opinion, of the judgment, of failure. If you fail, what is the worst that's going to happen? We work through working through those processes. So if you are really blocked and really stuck in fear and not sure what to do or what your direction is, I'd really invite you to book a call with me, and let's walk through that, because you don't have to stay there.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. Everyone has a choice to stay where they're at or not, and really we don't stay where we're at. We disintegrate or we progress, right? There's atrophy on many levels, or we're going to engage and make the change and make the choices. And I would absolutely encourage everybody listening to the video, contact Stormy, talk with her. She is amazing to talk with. Be open to making the changes you're willing to make because you're worth it, and you want to be free to be you. You want to live a life that is so fulfilling within yourself and put a smile on your heart. I was listening to something earlier. It said people want to feel peace. They want to feel happiness. They want to feel love. And it's arm's length. It's out there. It's not in here.
Yeah.
And I could say, working with Stormy, you'll be able to get it in here. Okay. It's not just an idea or a wannabe or, at arm's length. No, it comes internally, and there's that oneness and that connection. And then the creativity just continues to expand more and more. At least this has for me in just a matter of months. It's just been phenomenal. So I'm so happy to be able to share some time together like this with you, but especially reach as many people possible that they could experience the gift you have to share with them, but open up the gifts that are inside of them that are just waiting, to be unwrapped.
Well, it's been an honor to share this time with you, Judy, and it's of course been a pleasure working with you. I adore the journey that we're on, and it's beautiful to see the things that you're working on and expanding on, and that are coming out in your world in miracles of health. There's been some amazing developments and expansion for you.
Thank you. And it feels so good to wake up in the morning or to feel during the day, oh my gosh, I just love what I'm doing. I love it. I look forward to going to the office. I can't wait to see what it is I could create next. But that feeling of life, that feeling of tapping into this life force energy, of being able to say at the end of the day, I have more likes and loves than I do disappointments
Mm-hmm.
or hardship or aches and pains. That's a big transition. And anyone who
Absolutely.
works with you, they're going to have that. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Until we talk again.
Absolutely, Judy. Thank you so much for your time and energy and sharing this space with me today.
Thank you, Stormy. Everyone have a great, great day and keep expecting miracles of life.
Absolutely.